Thank you, Larry. Just out of interest, how many languages do you speak?
I don't speak Ebonics as well as Rachel, if that's what you mean.
No, how many languages do you speak was the question.
And the relevance of that is what?
You don't think she's a smart cookie. She speaks 3 languages fluently. How many do you speak?
Oh, really? You think she's a smart cookie? So
yeah.
You want to bring it back to Rachel? That's not what we're talking about
I
here,
think
Piers.
you've been...
We're talking about
I want to bring it back to Rachel because that was why I booked you, Larry.
How you treated black people like children to whom the truth cannot be told. Rachel Gentile needs to get her act together. If my mother were alive, she would say, how dare she speak like that?
Do you know her educational background, Larry?
When I was in the 3rd grade, I know how she presented herself on the jury.
Larry, do you know her educational background or not?
People evaluate you based on the way you express yourself.
Larry, do you know her educational background? This woman, this young 19-year-old black woman that you are eviscerating for her lack of intelligence, do you have any idea about her background?
Why don't you hire her if she's so sharp as a co-host?
That wasn't the question, Larry.
She's one smart cookie.
Do you
Why don't you hire
know her educational background? Yes or no?
I know how she came across on the jury. That's all I need to know.
That wasn't my question, Larry. Do you know anything?
Why are we even talking about this?
Because actually, I think it's relevant.
Let's talk about something.
Let me enlighten you, Larry. I booked you to talk about Rachel Gentile.
Black America. Yeah. Let's talk about whether or not white racism is a major problem for Black America. It is not. You are implying that it is. It is not. As we speak, there's a guy in prison right now in Phoenix, a black guy in an SUV with his fiancée, killed a Hispanic who cut in front of him. Larry. He wasn't arrested right away. Had the Hispanic family not agitated, the guy may never have been arrested. Where are the cameras?
Larry.
But you have some white guy do something or some non-white guy do something to a black person, we want to march on Washington.
Larry, let me just...
Piers. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Larry, thank you. If I could just bring you up to speed on Rachel Gentile, this woman that you think is so stupid. She actually suffered
I didn't say stupid, you did.
She actually suffered. We checked this with her lawyer today before I interviewed you, because this is why I booked you, of course, even though you're trying to pretend now this is the last thing you want to talk about. That is why I booked you. Rachel Gentile, when she was young at school, had a lot of time off school and fell behind because of illness. That was why she wasn't able to go to school. She was actually doing very well. She was at B grade at high school until her great friend Trayvon Martin was shot dead by George Zimmerman. Wait a minute. I haven't finished.
She sounded to you like somebody you want to hire in any kind of capacity?
Her grades have since slipped to 2-something because of the stress that she suffered, understandably, from the death of her friend Trayvon. She's now been offered a chance by Tom Joyner and his people from his foundation to go to college. She wants to get those grades back up and make something of herself. Why would you? I think
that's wonderful, Piers.
Why would you be so scathing about Rachel Gentile and so patronizing to a young woman who's clearly been through an appalling ordeal and who, when I interviewed her, I found to be a smart cookie, like I said. I found her to be fun and warm, engaging, street smart, and clearly from her educational background, nowhere near as stupid as you like to think she is.
Once again, I never used the word stupid. You did. She was the most important witness in a murder trial. She was standing between George Zimmerman and 30 years in jail, and for you to act as if she was somehow abused by Don West, whose job was to make sure his client didn't go to jail, is outrageous. And as far as education is concerned, I applaud Mr. Joyner. He's done a lot of work in the black community for education, and I would recommend, Piers, that we do something about the 50% dropout rate in the inner city and about the fact that President Obama opposes allowing parents to use vouchers to get their kids out of bad government schools and into a better school so they can have a possibility to get to the middle class. That's what we ought to be talking about here, instead of some aberrant situation like George Zimmerman going to somebody that he thinks is suspicious, and they have an exchange, and there's an unfortunate death, as if somehow that's some sort of indictment of America, and black people should look over their shoulders every night and act as if some white guy is going to jump out of a bush and get them. It is outrageous. Hard work wins. Get an education. Don't pay attention to negative people, and stay focused, and you'll be okay in America. That's why most of the people in the world want to come here. That's why you want to come here, Piers.
Thank you, Larry Elder.